Weekend in, weekend out, Motorsport Australia officials are making waves. From waving flags, waving cars through pit lane, or responding to a wave for help. Wave hello to new lifelong friends. Who knows, you might just make waves around the world. Ride the first wave. Search Motorsport Australia officials today.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series in officially licensed cars engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Good evening and welcome to round one of the 2024 ANZ Series GT3 National Championship, coming to you live on SimSpeed TV. We start our 9-round journey here in the first leg of our European rounds at the Nurburgring, specifically the Grand Prix circuit that, like me, turned 40 this year, so happy birthday from us and the world. Before we get into tonight's action, just wanted to touch on last week's pre-qualifying we held at Watkins Glen. I know it wasn't streamed, but let me tell you, the level of competition was incredible. Only 7/10 separated the top 40 drivers and 1 second separated the top 60. Massive congratulations to the drivers that made the cut, and massive commiserations for the drivers who fought valiantly to try and make the top 40, but miss out by the smallest of margins. Let's move on to championship. 9 rounds, 3 continents, over 2,700 points on offer for our antagonists this series, but there can only be one winner. That winner takes home not only the trophy but bragging rights that he or she is the best GT3 driver in the nation. We have a whole heap of racing to look forward to, so let's crack on. We finally made it. After weeks of planning, tonight is where it all begins. 60 minutes of racing around the highly technical Nurburgring Grand Prix circuit, where your favourite drivers, and I mean your favourite drivers, there's some great drivers out there, will have to fight for every inch of tarmac in their quest for glory. Hello, I'm your host Aaron Oberseller, and on the pots and pans we have the veteran Jay Kennedy, and joining me in the combox is Dan the Man, Daniel Yaman. Welcome.
Thanks for the introduction, Aaron. Welcome to SimSpeed TV as well. I mean, well, one half SimSpeed TV, one half ANZ Series here, bringing the commentary for this new GT3 National Championship in partnership with Motorsport Australia's esports division, kicking off the Motorsport Esports Championships for 2024 as well, to get things underway here tonight. As you mentioned, the Nurburgring Grand Prix circuit, our host of our opening round this evening. Storied history, of course, here at the Nurburgring in the west of Germany. The Grand Prix circuit, not as long of a history, of course, compared to the iconic Nordschleife, but certainly plenty of experience throughout the years, whether it is the Formula One Grand Prix, various national German championships, and of course the Nurburgring 24-hour, using the majority of the Grand Prix courses it currently is as part of the combined layout.
Yeah, we're here, like it says on the screen there, we're 5.4, just over 5 kilometers of racetrack here. 15 turns, it goes clockwise. It's for everyone's seen this track. I love that you put the new names on there. That's fantastic. Through AMG Arena, into the Goodyear hairpin, and through Michael Schumacher's curves there. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this race. I tell you, man, it's going to be awesome.
I mean, yeah, certainly. Grand Prix circuit here throws up a lot of racing action and potential for us here tonight. We'll be seeing who can get their best foot forward to start off the season indeed. A little bit more information about what we're looking at here tonight. The GT3 class on iRacing, or at least most of it. At least we are missing a couple of the veteran cars to help smooth things out a little bit. So the drivers have a choice of the Audi R8 LMS Evo 2, the BMW M4 GT3, the Ferrari 296 GT3, and then you're into the Lamborghini Huracan GT3 Evo, the Mercedes AMG GT3 2020, and the Porsche 911 GT3R are your 6 options that were available to the drivers for this championship. They're all running on fixed setups as well, as you can see on screen, and they've been tuned by the team at Hymo Setups as well. Critically for that as well, they're working on a balanced performance scheme that's been embedded into the car setups as well. It's the first time I've seen this used the first time I've seen a balanced performance derived via setup, Aaron, so I'll be curious to see how things work out in that respect, because of course we're talking 6 different cars, front engine, mid-engine and rear engine across the field here today, and as a result they do have different characteristics, so be curious to see how that balanced performance has been figured out by the way of setup tuning here tonight.
Tell you that the everyone has obviously gone in there and tested. The Ferrari is the pick of choice. There's so many Fezzes out there tonight. The Porsche is a great car. No BMWs, which I'm surprised about. That is a safe car in anyone's hands. What else did I see out here? There's only one of the Mercedes AMGs out there. So R8s, Ferraris, Porsches are what's going to make up the majority of the grid tonight. And you're right, the balance of performance, to get your head around that is absolutely ridiculous. And I'm glad that smarter heads than us are looking after it. Hymo's handling all the balance of performance and the setups for the GT3s you see on track. So thank you to those guys. And all we have to do is sit back and watch and enjoy it.
And yep, we'll see how things play. As I said, yeah, car domination, certainly by a few cars, will definitely cut down what we see on track, but be curious to see how it all works out in the end. Critically right now, we're in the midst of qualifying for the first half of the field. 15 minutes in two groups, 15 minutes each, I should say, pardon me, is currently how things are being run. And for tonight, it is roughly based on the pre-qualifying times that was seen to get drivers into the field for this national championship. And then from later rounds onwards, we'll actually have to wait and be confirmed exactly how things work. It might be championship standings. I'll have to brush up on those regulations when we get to that point in time. But then critically, of course, the racing action, a 15-minute opening sprint, and out to see who can put the pace down in the handful of laps there. And then a 45-minute feature to round things off tonight. 50% fuel tank restriction in these cars, and also what the fuel is provided in these fixed setups. We are almost certainly going to see a pit stop unless we get enough safety cars to suddenly chip away at that one there, given what you normally see from GT3 cars on the iRacing service.
The safety car is probably 100%. If you can go above 100%, that's what it's going to be tonight. That turn 1 in the race 1 with, what have we got, over 20,000 horsepower on track right now, with probably more testosterone on track as well. So turn 1's going to be unbelievable. I can't wait to see that and see how this race unfolds. Especially that 15-minute race, that's going to set up that 45-minute feature. Just for everyone watching at home, the 15-minute race counts to 100 points tonight, and the feature is worth 200 points. So 300 points on offer just for a couple of races. That 15-minute race is worth heaps.
I mean, it is very important to point that out. Indeed, yeah, the fact that it's worth more than it's worth 50%, despite being worth about a quarter of your track time tonight, is definitely very important, to say the least. Well, on screen now, the driver's out on track in this first part of qualifying, and we'll see how things go. It's Dylan O'Shea setting the early pace time for 9.5 Simsports, although I literally finished that sentence, and Zach Ratcher-White just in behind him will take a bit of slipstream. It seems to perhaps help him out there. 7/1000ths of a second to go to the top of the charts at this stage in time. And actually, a question already coming up in the SimSpeed YouTube chat, as we are on various platforms tonight, so I'll try and keep my eyes on as many different conversations as possible here. But the question of, will we see rain? It is entirely possible. All these GT3 cars on circuit are rain-enabled thanks to the iRacing weather system updates. So we will see if rain is added in due course. Can say for tonight, for certain, we are not going to see rain. Just take it a little easy, given that rain came out all of 5 days ago.
Thank God for that.
But,
yeah, it seems these guys out on track is going to be crazy tonight. But if there's rain involved, yeah, that's going to throw them all into chaos. But yeah, I think a non-rain affected little Grand Prix tonight's going to be just what we need to get this season started.
Hey, it's a chance to get the benchmark, the baseline sort of in place, and see where things go, and then work from there as we start allowing for a bit more dynamic weather conditions and such. And if the rain comes, and who can master the strategy of adapting from dry to wet, wet to dry, we'll just have to honestly wait and see how things are handled as a result. On board currently with Teo Serrano, one of the oldest Australia drivers in the field for this series, and driving one of the couple of Porsches out there on track tonight as well. We'll see as he brings it up through the sweeper here at turn 15 and heading up for the chicane at the back of the straightaway. Using this Grand Prix configuration, not the Beswick or the 24-hour fast chicane, so there is an overtaking opportunity there at the end of the straightaway if you can get up alongside enough under brakes, I'd have to say, Aaron, but we watch here Serrano's abandoning that qualifying lap and into the pit lane along with a host of other drivers. So in fact, maybe 3 or 4 have dived in. A couple might stay out to break the trend. I'm seeing most people come to a stop on the start-finish straight.
We've got so many teams in here, so I'd imagine that people are going to come into the pits here, get your team together, get some slipstream on this track. I was just watching practice before we went live, and the margins are so close. 1 second, I think, separates the top 20 drivers out there. So if you can get any edge for this qualifying, you take it.
100%, yeah. Given the number was 7/10 of a second was the official number at the end of pre-qualifying for our 40 drivers that made the cut. Practice times and numbers so far in the session are a little bit more spread at the particular moment. Certainly it is a tight field when it comes to deciding whether you're in or you're out. And now the game of whether you can now convert pre-qualifying potential into one lap pace, or in this case, we're looking at about 15 minutes per group. This first class was held for a couple of minutes, so they might not get all of 15 minutes here. We'll have to wait and see as we go to one of our Audi R8 GT3s out on circuit in the hands of Thomas Inns, iRacing, sim racing veteran. Yeah, representing GM Shifters as he always does. He's got a car actually parked up on the inside there, which clears out of his way just in time, actually. So very lucky to not get too distracted with that, I'd say, as he clears the arena section and heads down to the bottom end of the Grand Prix circuit.
Yeah, coming down here to turn 5, not exactly flat out, but you can hold it pretty much quarter throttle through there into turn 6, and as you come down into the turn 7 hairpin, a lot of time can be made on this hairpin. I'm just going to see how late he brakes here. There's no real braking markers, it's just all by feel as you come through. There's an apex there somewhere, I'm sure that.
Yeah, it's again, it's the art of, and also how does each car play to its strengths? Can you get it to rotate early, or need to rotate it early perhaps? Can you get it to rotate nicely right on the middle of the apex? Is it something that maybe favours a bit of a later rotation? And those are things that we're going to be able to sort of see play out over the course of the season, and whether they still have those characteristics to them still, of course. Fixed setups and balance performance tuned via the car setups here for this championship might change that a little bit there, so maybe they're all going to handle a little bit more similarly than perhaps you might expect, but nevertheless, you're looking to see how the characteristics of these various GT3 cars will shine here, as Hinz now 1 corner to go on this qualifying lap. Will be the first that he gets validly put, well, if it's a count still, the first valid lap for the session. So coming around the last turn here, coming up to that timing line, and it will be a 1:57.7. So it goes to P10 on that one there, as our benchmark sitting still. And there's Zach Rattray-White on the 57.0 at the top of the charts.
I just did see that that Audi going through the Michael Schumacher S's. As you come through that hairpin into turns 8 and 9, that 9, as you come through 9, that outside, that looks really, really stable through there. I've watched most of the Ferraris go there, and they get a little bit taily as they go through turn 9. So you're talking about characteristics. The characteristics of the car through turn 9 is really planted. So look for some overtaking opportunities into turn 10. But with those cars, but man, look at the times we've got here at the moment. There's nothing separating these guys at all. Just trying to work out what we've got at the top there. Ferrari's actually on top of the order there. The Audi's behind it, but a whole heap of Porsches. Those 911s fighting for positions 4 to 7.
Yeah, certainly a strong showing from the Porsche contingent in the series. Ryan Houlihan for Alpha Venturi Racing, leading Adam Hughes for Chris Cross, Teo Serrano for Altus Australia, and then Jesse Butler. Pardon me, I actually don't quite know who Jesse Butler will be representing team name-wise for the series. But yeah, 4 Porsches in a row there. Don't count out Samuel Sproul there, P9 for Blackout OPR, and Marino Morella, who I believe I've actually seen representing Visceral Esports. And I believe that's for the first time I've seen him representing Visceral in the Australian scene as well, with Sean Ellis for Dynamic Sim Sports. Last of the Porsches on track at the moment, but that certainly could improve in due course as Gianni Lutsu, so the tracking here, comes across the line. Unfortunately, that lap there, not going to be an improvement for the 58. No, I'll take that back. He did improve it by just over a tenth of it.
Just a tenth, yeah.
Crisscrossed around the wrong way, so still sitting P3, but has closed up the margin to the top 2 at this stage.
It's good to see Zachary up there, Zachary White up the top there. He was doing in the practice sessions, I think he got down to 156, so it's so hard to duplicate a lap, and these times they're doing up there is fantastic. Hey, the guys in the chat, sorry, I've just brought it up, I apologise, so I'll get to that in a second. Min's admin, yes, I'm back. You thought you'd get rid of me, but here I am. And I'll go through the chat here with 3 other guys here. It's good to see everyone involved. We do this for you guys. These guys on track do it for them to watch later, I know, but thanks for jumping on and watching, guys.
Yeah. I like to keep tabs on a whole bunch of different chats about Century tonight, because we do have a lot of people.
I normally do the pots and pans, and now that we've got so many chats open, this is this is hard to keep track of. Thank you everyone for commenting, and we'll get to it as we go.
Actually, I'll bring up a couple more of the live chats where I can tonight, just to see if anyone's talking in a few different places to keep on top of things. Is focusing here on Ratchway White, and you can see the comparison between his fastest lap and Johnny Lewis's fastest lap, sitting at less than 700ths of a second, as we look to see if the 17 can go a little bit quicker here, as we are presumably coming towards the end of this opening group for these drivers here, and time will be running out. And I believe actually they started about 32 minutes remaining in the session, so you wind that back and we're looking at about a minute and a half to go for the drivers here in qualifying Group 1, give or take some rounding errors. So Ratchway White looks to be winding up here. No, 30-second warning has just been thrown, so it'll be at the 18-minute mark here, Aaron, where the checkered flag will fly, which means the number 17's got one more chance to try and stretch the margin here on Group 1 and consolidate a strong spot once we coordinate and collaborate with Group 2 coming up in a few minutes' time as well.
Just looking through some names on here, and there's the names are absolutely awesome. We've got such a great field here, and I'm just looking down the order a little bit. Jacob O'Reilly, is he in this session? Because I can't see him on track at the moment. I'm just trying to see. He's been in the pits the whole time. Maybe he is doing a quick toilet break. I don't know, but he hasn't even jumped out on the track at the moment. So, 16 of your favourite drivers out there putting down lap times. About a second between. About 1.5 seconds between all of them out there. Just a few guys to go through. Chewy Kang, he's been back in the pits now, so he's not going to go. I'm just trying to find out who's on a lap. We know that Zach's on a lap at the moment. Is who's this on? Is Samuel Sproul, I think, is on a lap at the moment.
I think he pulled one up and got one in just as
he just got it in. He just got it in.
Ratchway White, I think, is going to be one of our last cars to commit to one. And behind him, Dylan O'Shea and Stuart Ellis potentially as well. So the 17, 19, and 73 machines are the cars to be looking out for, I believe, as we watch these last guys to wrap up their runs here in qualifying at the very least. And so looking to see here, Ratchway White brings it into the final chicane here. Looks a little scrappy there over the curbs. Wonder if he caught too much, and he dives straight for the pit entry. So no better time for him.
Bit of an off track for everyone watching at home. That just puts you out of qualifying. Unfortunately, a bit of an off track. Unfortunately, you can't cut the corners and expect to get your time validated.
Stuart Ellis might be the last car to commit to a lap here. So we'll bring up the provisional results here from our first qualifying group. And Ellis has just pushed himself into P10 at the end of that one there. So Zach Ratchway White will sit on the provisional pole at this time, and closely shadowed by Dylan O'Shea for 9.5 Sim Sports. Gianni Lutsu going to round out the provisional top 3 at this time for doing okay. Then you've got Alpha Ventura represented by Ryan Houlihan. Chris Cross in the hands of Adam Hughes there for P5. Sam Sproul jumping up to P6 for Blackout OPR. And the fact is that in the top 10, I'm seeing 10 independent team names.
Yes.
Really demonstrating here that despite the fact that there might have been some teammates out on track, that's certainly everyone pushing with everything they've got. 1.4 seconds covering our opening handful of drivers here, down to 16th place in the opening group.
So here comes the second group now. Now, I'd like to go second on this thing. They're going to lay down a lot of rubber out there, and the second group knows what they need to hit. I'm just trying to work out what teams we've got out here. They've split the teams very nicely in these two qualifying heats. A lot of cars about to go out there.
I mean, yeah, it's one of the things where it's like having a team roster would definitely be handy, but for many cases, I wouldn't be too surprised by some of the teams we should see in due course. So I can see Cody Deeth representing Eclipse Sim Sports along with Dylan Burse, so 3 and 68. You've then got Simon Nicholson and Matthew Dench representing Team PGZ Esports in the 08 and 83.
And here they come.
Yes, indeed, they're going to roll out now. So let's have I'm going to read off here. So we've got Eclipse in the first two cars heading out. Lamborghini for Cody Deeth, Audi for Dylan Burse. Brock Kelly, Visceral Esports, Ferrari 296 in the number 911. Brad Newman for, now actually, he's running the Falcon colours. I guess it might be Lobs Falcon Esports for him. And tonight, yeah, car number 2, Porsche. Nicholson, the 08, Team PGZ. Porsche, followed by Matthew Dench in the 83, PGZ. Matt Boyle at the number 80 for Dynamic Sim Sports. Eddie Beswick, the number 30, Audi for Eclipse. Zach Smith in the number 25 for Alpha Venturi. Caleb Hyde's 92 for Eclipse in the Audi. Lachlan Capel, number 8 for Evolution Racing Team. Jack O'Reilly here in qualifying group 2. You spotted him in the pits earlier. He actually jumped into the car a little early, it seems. First of a Vermilion cars in group 2. The 222 Ferrari being shadowed by teammates Lewis Greathead and Jamie Christensen, all in Ferrari G296s. And then Jacob Todd, 120, will be another one of our Altus Australia drivers here tonight in the field. And that concludes the drivers on track, as we'll keep our eyes on the leader of the train. It's going to be Cody Deeth, ending up now past the Michael Schumacher S. So still a little while before they'll get this first flying lap underway. And also critically, of course, they've only got the exact amount of time left on the session for this one here, Aaron. For those unfamiliar with the iRacing heat format and server configuration, it's out of the admin's hands. As soon as that time hits 0, we are cutting straight to the grid for the opening race here tonight.
It makes it easy for drivers to know that you don't have to get out of your car, out of your seat or anything. You just go straight into the grid. It's nice. One of the benefits of esports. It'd be weird if that was in real life and we just stopped the cars and dragged them in. Cody Deeth, is that who we got on screen at the moment? Because
I believe it is, yes.
He is going to be rapid. I hope we stay on the lap with this one, with Cody, because in practice, he was the quickest. I'm looking at him. I'm looking also at Brad Newman as well. He's a generational talent. So we'll see how he can go through here. The only one representing Lobs tonight. But yeah, this opening lap from Cody is going to be pretty flat out.
Yeah, these guys can't afford to be hanging around all too much. Yes, these are GT3 cars, and they may be able to get a little bit more pace out of lap 2, depending on how they've gone about the warm-up preparation. But given the amount of time left on the board, they do have permission to clear the circuit straight away should anything go wrong. They'll be going as hard as they can to get a lap on the board. We see here, predicted lap timer might be a little bit off for Cody at this stage because he hasn't set a valid time, but it's already suggesting he might be in the mid-56s to the high 56s here. So be curious to see if the conversion works out there as he works his way down into the bottom of the circuit and the run back up using all of the exit curb there as he begins to climb once again. So definitely not leaving anything to chance here. It's through the Schumacher S at speed. Not too much curb on the left-hand part. Definitely uses the curb on the right hand.
Smooth through that turn 9.
Good.
It's critical.
And going to bring it up here now. Turns 11 and 12 as he get ready for the short blast down the back straight to the final chicane on the circuit. And again, looking clean here. And we're going to bring up a predicted comparison here to see where I think a couple of our drivers are. The 08 PGZ machine of Simon Nicholson, who's right up underneath the gearbox of Brad Newman. Still tracking, though, at between 2 to 4 tenths behind. In fact, through the chicane there, it's going to blow out on the prediction. So, Deeth has rolled out of it, so he's abandoning that first attempt. Maybe too aggressive through the chicane. will set up once again with a wide entry to really straighten up the exit. Whereas you can see Nicholson, he's still on it here. So it looks like it'll be Newman and Nicholson for our first times on the board for qualifying group number 2 as they come to the line. That's 57.8 for Newman. We'll slot him back into P16, unfortunately. Nicholson behind, 57.5. So there is a bit of warm-up that needs to be done here, it seems. As I'm watching
these tyres are coming up to temp. Yeah, you're right. It must be second lap that they come up to temp. I jumped out there to see how to go with this. I was nowhere near the times that these guys were doing, just to see how I would stack up in the same equipment. These guys are really pushing the limits of these cars. It's good to see that they're losing a little bit. If we get some onboard shots of what they're doing through here, it looks smooth on the outside. I can tell you it's nothing but on the inside. Oh, I've got him just a little bit over the curb there as he comes to the last corner here. This is Dylan. He's on for, well, the predicted lap doesn't really help me there. Just
see what he does when he gets to the line. It's already gone by, so
I think it might have
not counted, unfortunately, is the answer.
Counted, yeah. Again, the off tracks in this are severe. You can put the car just in a little bit of the wrong spot. We're talking thousandths of an inch here where they're trying to put this car. If you put it a foot either way, you're going to get an off track, unfortunately. Who
yeah, there are
on the screen here?
So that'll be Cody Deeth once again.
Cody back in.
Yep, the number 3 Lamborghini for Eclipse Sim Sports. Actually, the odd one out pretty much amongst the Eclipse team. And nearly all of the rest of the team running Audi R8. The Audi R8 Evo 2 specification to add as well. Now, just 3 months old on the iRacing platform. Sort of felt like it was long overdue, but here it is finally, and we're glad to see it. To bring the Audi up to spec, as unfortunately the Audi is on its swan song in the real world as well, to mix things up. As the Beswick here, as he comes up to the last corner here. So he's on the attack, whereas one of the PGZ cars, which I believe will have been Nicholson in front of him. Yes, the 08 is Nicholson. Going to set up for a run as Nicholson, Beswick, sorry, will go to a 57.2. Goes to P5 there with 8.5 minutes left in the session. It is indeed, as he switched to Brock Kelly, one of our drivers from Vissel Esports here. Going to get a time on the board and goes to P10 at the moment on a 57.415. So,
as you said that, Dench went P1 as you just said that, with a rapid time of 56.7, as you were talking about, Eddie. But that car is so he's got a handle with this car, Mr. Dench.
Without a doubt, Matthew Dench will be one of the faster drivers in the field, I would think, across the course of the season. And working with Simon Nicholson, both representing the Team PGZ Esports stable as well. Will be ones to watch out for. Amongst others, of course, we're curious to see. We haven't seen guys like, well, Cody Deeth and Damon Woods in particular spring to mind from Eclipse Sim Sports, but also don't count out Dylan Burse, as he will go to the top of the time charts here on that 156.6. As that was Lachlan Capel parked sideways across the circuit. Not where he wants to be in the ERT Porsche, but will get out of the way, thankfully, and be able to get on with things here. With 7.5 minutes to go, clock's running out. You've probably got yourself about 2 minutes for a flyer. Only about 2 more flying laps left in it, depending on exactly where you are and if you're still out on track or not in this current phase of the session.
I see a few guys that have put times down, but not, or actually haven't put times down. Hayden Sells has not put a representative time down. Mr. Chadwick hasn't as well. He's still in the pits. I don't know if they're going to come out shortly. But there's some guys down the bottom of the down the back there, which I was expecting to be a little bit better than how they've gone. Chewy Kane, is he on track at the moment? No, he's not.
He's qualified already from Group 1.
Right,
Remaining drivers,
he's been pushed back. Yes, yep.
Drivers yet to set a time on circuit here in Group 2. Cody Deeth, number 3 for Eclipse, and the number 80 for Matthew Boylett from Dynamic Sim Sports. They are the 2 cars out there at the moment, yet to set a time. As I'm just looking to confirm in the chat history, Jake Maloney, no time set was sent out in Group 1, so he will be at the back of the field, as well as Christensen. Going to bring the number 5 Ferrari across the line. Unfortunately for him, that was a long way down the order. P29 unfortunately puts him as the last of our drivers with a valid qualifying time on the board at this stage. Still got a little bit of time left to fix it up, and given he's just gone across the line, if he's got fuel for it, 3 laps left possibly in his session, as Cody Deeth now running out of time. He's got 2 more chances. Well, this one, sorry, and 2 more to get a time on the board. So we'll see here. Is he on one at the moment? No, he's setting up again. So swing in from the wide angle. Get on the power for the straight exit to set the run up here down towards turn 1. Looking to see Deeth shoot towards the top of the charts eventually, but he's got to get there first and running out of time to get there in the first place.
I'm looking at Zachary Smith on the timing screen. He has a predicted lap time of 1:56. I can't see him on track at the moment. I'm trying to get him on the one here, but
just heading up to the back hairpin in the 25.
Oh, he is too. I've got him
Bush. But for me, I'm not seeing personal bests on my timing, so maybe a game of he's also just had a bit of a blink too, which unfortunately just caused our timing to on the broadcast to go in a bit of a moment there as well. So unfortunately, we'll check. We installed Matthew Dench. Keep an eye on him, and I can confirm I'm seeing 2 personal bests from the 83 PGZ Esports car at this stage. So there's a possibility here we might get a new top dog in qualifying, at least, as we're coming up towards 4.5 minutes to go in the session. And watch here to see how the 83 drives down towards the chicane, pardon me, at the end of the lap. Look for him to just potentially grab 6th gear. Yep, already grabbed it there by the time we got through the sweeper. Now, see how much curb does he know he can use. He's up on the left. Pretty neat over the right, early into 2nd gear to get the drive out of the corner. And then there you go, look at that, up on the curb. It's going to open the entry as much as he can, although he's a bit wide on the entry. Is this lap still going to count, or is he going to push? Another personal best was in the back half of the lap. It counts.
This counts, but it's a little bit slower. Yeah, that was that last. It was that last 4 corners that he came through there. It's hit those. Yeah, it's a little bit unstable.
Just been told that could have been a good one for Cody Deeth. Yeah, a couple of all-time, session best sectors out of everyone, but very wide at the final chicane. Almost certainly invalid. No, it went through and it goes to the top. 10th and a half clear.
I can't believe I just watched that. I saw that car off the road, basically, and he's come through. Yeah, that is a massive moment. Oh, that is millimeters. We'd have to get a overhead shot of that if we had to make sure. But well done, Cody Deeth. That is a time. That's not going to be beaten, I wouldn't think, in the next 3 minutes. He could probably park that thing away.
See what he does here, because again, got teammates in the server who would also expect to be competitive. I mean, yeah, 10th and a half is, well, it doesn't sound like all that much. In this field, though, that's certainly a fairly strong sign of things to come, potentially. Of course, though, there's going to have to be the conversion from qualifying to race pace, and whether you can potentially break away from the draft that will form here in this out on track come the racing sessions. As clock ticking down, drivers will need to get set up for their final one. We're just going to see where the last car that probably gets around in time is. I'm going to have to say it's either Matthew Dench, maybe Jacob O'Reilly. So we've only got about 5 cars left, I think, that can get around to start a lap in time. That was Simon Nicholson shooting up to P5. Second of the PGZ cars there. And Jamie Christensen pops up into P7 as well.
Yeah, massive result for Jamie Christensen. He put down, this is the best lap that he's done.
By far, he was down towards the back of the field, and question marks there as to whether he'd get it there as the clock ticks past 2 minutes, and I can confirm the 222. Jacob O'Reilly will be the last car to have just started the lap in time. So everyone that we're watching here in the final sectors of the lap, they are completing their final chance at a lap. Caleb Heights, a little off the pace in P21 at the moment, will commit therefore in his Eclipse Sim Sports number 92 Audi. Through the final turn he comes. Looks to put the power down, get better than a 57.5, which, yeah, it's just over a second off the mark as he comes to the line. He's only going to find less than a 10th of a second, and as a result, he will still finds 2 spots though in the process zone. So there's a little bit of progress there, but that is him done in qualifying here tonight.
These names at the top here, we got 31 of the best sim racers in the country here, racing for glory, and they're really putting on a show for us.
They are indeed. Not too many surprises or missing names, that's for sure. And all of this has been happening. Drivers like Capel have slipped up into P8, but he's in the pits and already done. Jacob Todd trying to work the 120 Ferrari over the curves for Ultra Australia. Commit to the end of this lap here. Try and do better than a 157.476 is what he's got on the board for now. As he rounds the final turn, uses all of the limits. And with under a minute left on the clock, he will improve by just over 0.2 of a second. And he'll jump up to P12, so a couple of spots gained there, which is certainly handy. And then there's only a couple left. Matthew Boylett's going to be next across the line in the number 80 for Dynamic Sim Sports. Looking to improve on a 57.7. Long way down the field here for Boylett, as he looks to try and move his way up towards the order. 57.5 will help. It's P21 only for the 80.
That's still 8 positions that he's just made up there with a cracking time there, and that's going to help. Every position is going to matter when it comes to these races, especially this 15-minute races we're about to get into in the next minute and a half or so. Every position is going to help.
Dench will steal P2 away from Dylan Burst there to swap the order on the front row, and Jacob O'Reilly, I believe, has just shot up the charts with a 57.3. Yep, pulls just about 0.2 of a second on what he had previously in the session. And just like that, we hit 0. We cut to the grid for race number 1 this evening, with your times on screen as well. So it'll be Deeth and Dench to round out our front row. And just hearing, there's also a pit lane start instruction. I'll have to go back and hear out which one that was for in a second, Aaron, but it'll be Dylan Burst and Zach Ratchway-White starting on row number 2 to kick things off here this evening, with Simon Nicholson and Dylan O'Shea 5th and 6th to kick things off here tonight. Jamie Christensen and Lachlan Capel starting out of P7 and 8. The top 10 rounded out by Gianni Lutsu and Ryan Houlihan in the 58 and 999 cars respectively.
As we go through the grid, in P11 we've got Eddie Beswick alongside Jake K. Todd, rounding out that 6th row of the grid. Zachary C. Smith and Jacob O'Reilly in P13 and 14. Adam Hughes back there in P15. It's good to see him there. Samuel Sproul in the 606 machine. He's in P16. And geez, I'm loving these liveries at the moment. They look at the times here, 0.8 of a second. Separating them from first. Brock Kelly and Teo Sorrento in P17 and 18. Jesse Butler and Caleb Hyde round up the top 20.
And critically there on screen, the confirmation of it is car 80. Matthew Boyd might have qualified in P21, but he will be at the back of the field waiting for them to go by. It'll be Simon Cox alone on row 11 there in 22nd place to kick things off. And it'll be Stuart Ellis and Brad Newman alongside each other on the next row here, 23rd and 24th, for those two drivers to kick things off, with Marino Morella in behind in 25th place, and Lewis Greyhead sharing row 13 with him there. For Visceral and Vermilion there, you see those two cars. 27th goes to Sean Madison of our Alpha Venturi Ferrari, with Thomas Hinz alongside in the Team Jig Shifters Audi for 28th place. Final cars on the grid going to be Chu Kang and Hayden Sell to round out the top 30, with Simon Shadwick and Jake Maloney going to round out our 16 rows and 32 starters for the opening round of the series. We are missing a couple of drivers from this one here tonight, unfortunately, but nevertheless, still got ourselves a pretty full grid to kick things off as we wait for the timer to finish ticking down. The iRacing pace car will then lead the field away before we get ready to see the green here for the opening round of the ANZ Series GT3 National Championships.
I think what's happened here is I think Cody might have kept that Lamborghini up his sleeve. He's the only guy in there, I'm pretty sure. Is he the only guy in the Lamborghini? I'm pretty sure he is. That front row of the Lamborghini and Porsche look amazing, and the rest of the cars down the grid. The liveries tonight, excellent. Thank you very much to all you guys putting a massive effort with your liveries. We should mention, before we go racing, if I can bring up this in front of me, our sponsors for tonight. We've got Hymo that's been looking after all the balance performance and setups for the GT3s you see on track. Trophy Hub, it's our online trophy store right here in Australia. Burnley Motor Group, give him a burl if you need a used car or a brand new, or you need finance, go see him. First Take Photography, he's based in WA, hit him up. Motorsport Australia, without these guys this wouldn't happen, it wouldn't have materialised. And Race Labs for the best overlays in iRacing. Thank you to you guys, the sponsors. We're about to get the opening 15 minutes underway. I'm really looking forward to it. The 2024 GT3 National Championship is about to get underway, and there's a lot of testosterone about to be unleashed into the turn one.
As you said, all-out sprint to kick things off here tonight. And then we'll get into the strategy games with the 45-minute feature race. So, Deeth waiting for the confirmation. So, I believe I just heard he's got to wait on the green flag here before he can go. So he's not in control of this race start as we come around the final turn. Which is again, one of the rules here. So you see here, Deeth versus Dench on the front row. He will jump early though here, so hopefully that isn't in violation of the rules. Green flag will fly here for the ANZ Series GT3 National Championships. Round 1 of the Nurburgring is go, and Dylan Burst to the inside as well on Dench as they headed down to the hairpin for the first time. And we are
wide turn 1.
Going to get through just here. It looks like Aaron Nicholson making the most. Jumps up to P4 with the run up the inside there as it was O'Shea. Oh, Capel tagged on the inside. The ERT Porsche spins and that to Scurry. No, it's high. It's nose contact. Will smash both those cars up something fierce. And another Audi there caught in the mix. The number 64 belonging to Simon Cox is caught up in the chaos as well.
Not surprising. Absolutely not surprising with the amount of talent out there. They're all fighting for position. I'd imagine that safety car's been called here. I'm not sure. Still green flag racing.
Standing by as Hides has parked it. He can't go any further. And the safety car boards and flags do fly straight away here. So unfortunately, with a couple of seconds gone since we started, we're back pacing once again. As someone put it, 32 cars all racing for a run to turn 1. And
just this track, turn 1 at this track is downhill. A lot of braking. You brake at about the 300-meter board as you come through. So a lot of positions to be made up if you can brake that a little bit later. And I'd imagine that everyone out there is trying to brake that little bit later. You're 4 wide. That was a pinch point into turn 1. They interlock wheels on the outside there. And then the chaos. Who was involved in the chaos?
So it'll be Christensen. It'll be Jamie Christensen, I think, is the number 5 from Vermilion Motorsports there. And then Caleb Hyde's nose to tail. And Simon Cox there just gets caught spinning. Actually grabs, I think it was, it's one of the Alfa Venturi Ferraris. I think it's Sean Madison. Yep. Looks like the 60 there. So unfortunately, all kinds of bedlam there. As the safety car is out on track, and well, actually needs to probably park it up for a second because he's already down in the middle of the second. Because here comes the field. I'd probably suggest that safety car hit the anchors for a second so that the field can catch him, because otherwise they're still circulating the control of Cody Deeth. And we'll have to wait a second. I get the feeling, though, with this, the hazard has been cleared, Caleb Hyde's back in the pit lane, that we're likely to see the race restart here pretty quickly. Try and get as much of the racing time on the board as possible, which is certainly the ideal in this case.
I'm sure Race Control's got this under control. We've got Josh Horton and Curtis Bird, Ben Faulkner and Kevin Norman in Race Control looking after 32 cars on track. So they've probably got the hardest job here tonight. Oh, here we go. It's just starting to come into the pits now. This that was a 29 car. The 28 car there. See, I thought he was that Thomas Hinds that I don't know if he got a little bit loose by himself through there, but yeah, it's unfortunate that that proceedings has started this way.
Yeah, we've had ourselves Lachlan Capel, Thomas Hinds, Jesse Butler, Sean Madison, Simon Cox get back around to the pits and take pit service. And Caleb Hyde's in the pits still serving a tow. I actually need to go and check to see if he might get a permission to be able to come back out and track. I was going to go on board with Thomas Hinds back on lap 1 to see how he ended up in the struggles. That was the 82 Hayden Sell to his outside, but they get through fine there. The trouble obviously happens up ahead, and then he gets a bit of a rear end helping. Now, which car would that have been? I wonder. I'll go find that one out here in a second. Muscle still under safety car. Doesn't look like we're going to.
We'll probably have to unpack that over the next week, to be honest, to find out who was involved and who lost out. Oh, was it Maloney? Maloney into the back.
Yep, 29 lone Mercedes AMG was unfortunately right up the gearbox of Hinds, and here it is from the roof of said 29 Merc. And you watch here on the Berlin Motor Group replay, all of a sudden they check, and that has picked up Hinds' car, and as a result he went to the pits to clean that one up there.
No, that's not a Mercedes, that was a plow. That's what that was, going through turn 2 there. The only Mercedes out in the field there, and he's got the snowplow on the front.
All right. Well, middle of lap 2. Safety car is going to put the hammer down here and head back to the pit lane. Cody Deeth now in control of the pace at about 80 k's an hour is the instruction. In fact, looks like he might be using the help of actually Cleverly. Yep, pit speed limiter is at 80 k's an hour, so that's actually quite useful there. That'll keep his speed pretty constant indeed as he'll head up into the final chicane. We'll wait to see if the safety car pulls into the pits here in a second as to exactly when he gets the all clear to get underway here. He's going to check through the race regulations. He's going to go super wide to the final turn to try and get the best run, but he's going to wait a little bit here and hammer down midway through the curb. Green flag back in the air to get this opening race of the ANZ Series GT3 National Championship underway. And we already see that's at least 2 wide further on back in the field, starting in and around what looks to be Rattray White and O'Shea even as well. As O'Shea's diving, the 19 Audi up the inside. It's going to force Simon Nicholson out of the way. Rattray White will take advantage of that one as well. That was close. There's going to be a time penalty going the way of Jamie Christensen making contact with Lachlan Capel. As Nicholson back on the Rattray White. They are diving here in the arena. Contact with Rattray White. Nicholson's going to spin the 08 around on the nose with the 120 and Jacob Todd.
He's come off second best there, unfortunately, Nicholson there. He got a little bit of contact. He was out in the grass, I'm pretty sure, as that unfolded. He put that Vermilion car back straight, but then he didn't get rewarded too much after the fact. He got absolutely sent into the wall.
Yeah, it was a huge send from O'Shea, which then certainly compounded here. Is on board with Beswick now up to P4. And we've got a car stopped Chu Kang, requesting a tow, the 37. Oh dear, he's very dead in the Mercedes arena. We'll see if Race Control keep... Yeah, the car's not going anywhere. And the 911, Brock Kelly. Russell Esports Ferrari is around. I'm just waiting to see if the safety car will stay out or come back in, as I've just seen also Samuel Sproul serving up slow down flag for the 606. And wait to see here, leaders are heading up
tonight, so which is good. They've kept it green. They've got those cars cleared off the track, so we're going to see some racing.
I have to say, not yet. Chu Kang is still parked on the exit of the arena, the AMG arena, yeah. But they will clear him away now, whilst the field is on the other side of the circuit. So here's the replay of how this all went first. So end of the dive there from O'Shea up the inside at turn 1. Pardon me, as that is further back. There's hello.
Wow.
Chu Kang dispatched from the rear. One of the Dynamic Sim Sports Porsches. Unfortunately, don't know if that was the number 80 Matthew Boylett or Stuart Ellis, the other driver from Dynamic Sim Sports, both in the same cars. Live pictures diving up at turn 1. It's going to be the 25 there of Zach Smith on Dylan O'Shea. They're going to go side by side, move not complete as they get through turn 1 and into the AMG arena. Once more they'll come. Door open for Adam Hughes to bomb Smith here in the middle of the arena, and the car gets loose for the 95 on the Astro on the inside. So Smith will hang on to that spot for now, but awfully wide as well. It's a slowdown penalty for Hughes. He went too hard up the inside of turn 3 in the arena. He's going to drop back down towards Teo Sorono. He's going to swing around the outside. Maloney might even look for the inside here. Now down in turn 6 at the Paget curve.
Seen that was Teo Sorono that came through there to get that position up the front here. There's nothing in at the front here. Cody Deep's got himself a little bit of a margin over Matthew Dench, but the rest of the field here from P3 down to P7, he was on, absolutely on at the front.
Sure is. Not too surprised to see Deeth, Burst and Dench pull away from the rest of the field. Also not quite gotten entangled with dives, sends and the like here. So it's Eddie Beswick leading the train. Gianni Lutsu sits in behind. Number 5, Jamie Christensen. Unfortunately, he will be pushed back 5 seconds on the official results. Unfortunately, we can't do that in service. So he will still be classified and start race 2 from where he's at in this one here. I believe as we'll go on board with him now through the Vidal chicane at the end of the lap and make your way up to the final turn here. Hyundai N corner, as it's currently known, and continue to look at that rear wing of Lutsu being told. Jacob Todd struggling, picking himself up a slowdown further back in the field, which is why you see him drop down the tower. Although a
big
good
move,
run for
big
Christensen.
move here on the inside.
Yep, he'll
He's
go
got
for
it done
that's for
on
sure.
Gianni. Or did he? Yes, he did.
So up nicely. Now Zach Ratchford-White having a look at a crisscross maneuver there as well. Speaking of crisscrossing, Teo Sorono and Adam Hughes, going at it, one of them being a crisscross driver. As the 111, the 95, and now Jake Maloney getting involved in this too. As Hughes again tries to get inside, though that time it's just for the defence here as Maloney's car gets loose on him as they try and sort things out. Just in behind, I just saw Matthew Boyle and Lachlan Capel dicing over 21st place, and it looks like Boyle's come off better in that one for now. Inside 5 minutes to go in this opening race of the season here, the GT3 National Championships, and yep, so far it is, well, it's anyone's game of these three, it seems, for race one. And then, as you said, it's anyone's game further on back, because it really is just an unbroken train. No more than 20 seconds covering our 30 cars still running in the pack.
Just hitting on over race control. I don't know what it's called over there. There's some good racing going on at the back of the grid here for the minor points, but you'd have to take them in this long championship. We've got 9 rounds to go. Like I said at the top of the broadcast, 2,700 points on offer, so every point's going to matter for these guys. It looks like they're battling for every single position on the track here. Cody Deeth has got himself a nice little margin over Dylan at the moment, but this battle here that Gianni and Zach White have got themselves into is absolutely giving up.
Yeah, it sure will be. These three have broken away a little bit from the next pack cars, which starts with Ryan Houlihan. As Lutzu slow down is the answer at the Viadol chicane, and he gets that cleared as soon as he can at the Hyundai end corner. Same for Lachlan Capel, has pushed the curve a bit too much. As we now watch further on back, Maloney looking inside of Teo Sorono and ahead. As head up towards turn 1. Once again, this Yokohama S. Well, it would be an S if it was in the Nurburgring configuration, the 24-hour config that is. With the drivers, though, of course. Oh, spin the back around that. Matthew Boyle, number 80 for Dynamic Sim Sports.
Oh, and he's got punted too.
Well, I think, to be honest, he's actually just floored that to get out of the way, and as a result, has actually sacrificed the right front, at least when it comes to an aero perspective. And I guess at this point in time, kind of going to have to get up to take what he can get from that one. There's on board with Cade Paul further on back in the pack there. Oh, the 340 Jesse Butler almost getting into his gearbox there. And see here, Jesse representing HTS Racing for the season. They've got Sam Sproul alongside. Unfortunately, Sam Sproul is a little bit further back than I thought he was. Here real quick and see Sam, yeah, P16 star for him. A long way back from where he'd like to be. And Sean Madison trying to recover after lap 1 entanglement as well, as he looks to the inside of Sproul coming down into the hairpin here at Goodyear. But no dice will back out of it, and then gets tagged, and around goes Madison, and that is, who is that partner me in tag with him? Brock Kelly once again getting caught up at the Goodyear hairpin, this time with another car.
A race to forget. He's been entangled in everything for here tonight. He's got the car back going again, but it's not looking $1 million, that's for sure, I can tell you. Looking at it from afar in my binoculars is what I'm looking into now. Yeah, they got entangled there, and it's these. I'm just trying to find Teos at the moment on the track as well. There's so many battles going on that I can't even find them on track. The little battle here for Brad Newman on Morella at the moment. That's going to be all the way into turn 1. You've seen that he's actually holding him up there. Morella's going to try and go on the outside, which is not a bad idea into turn 1. It sets you up into turn 2, but now he's pulled out of it. Maybe not close to really bad. Okay, I'll get out of turn 1. Up into the AMG arena here. Brad Newman has been told on the chat here that he is a generational talent. We've talked to say that plenty of times. And they're racing from P12 to 13.
He's got some work to do if he's going to show off that generational talent, Aaron, being P12
Yeah,
at the moment.
Exactly right.
I mean, early days, we'll see if that changes as the season goes on. But I have to say, drivers like Deeth, Burse and Dench, we also see Damon Woods up there, but no sign of Damon tonight at least. So he'll be along for the ride later on now. Clock's ticking down, and I believe they got the white flag on this lap because my timing says they've got half a lap to go. So expect this to be, we'll see here if drivers go all out for any extra spots. Their positions here in race 1 across the line, time penalties or no, will set the grid for race 2. We'll see here for Dylan O'Shea, he's certainly trying to threaten something on Ryan Houlihan here. Often Chewy racer who, I have to say, I've seen his name thrown around in the Assetto Corsa Competizione community before. Transitioning over here for this GT3 National Championship on iRacing, looking to put a good foot forward to start. Looking out for Gianni Lutz, going to threaten O'Shea perhaps, or O'Shea will defend.
He'll have to defend. That triple 9 car is going to be very wide for the rest of this lap. And as the leaders, Cody Deeth comes through for the win, Dylan Burris for P2 and Matthew Dench for P3. They did it easy at the front there. And that battle that we were just going to before, did Houlihan hold out? He did.
Yep.
For the P2.
Towards the back of the pack, last couple of shots. That's 4 wide hit. Capel, Hins, that's Chadwick, I believe, yep, and Sam Sprout deciding to go all out. It's in the line, it'll be Lachlan Capel sneaks up to 23rd. Oh, sorry, 21st, apologies. That's what that fight was. 21st place at the end of race number 1.
Poor Simon Chadwick was on the outside there and had nowhere to go. He got exited out stage left. He still comes through for P23, didn't get got to finish, which is great. These guys at the front, Cody Deeth. I'm gonna see how he goes in the 45-minute feature, but he put on an absolute clinic for us as well.
Well, I have to say, when it comes to young talent in sports car racing in Australia on iRacing, Eclipse Sim Sports certainly has some of the better ones. And Cody Deeth showing exactly why that was the case. Half a second clear of teammate Dylan Burse and 1.2 clear of Matthew Dench, and the other driver able to hang with them here in the opening 15-minute sprint with Eddie Beswick. You'd almost say playing rear gunner, but at 5 seconds back from the lead, that's not really the case. As a result, he led home Christensen and Rashray White, there across the line. Don't forget that with that time penalty issued in the race by race control, Christensen will actually drop back to P10. With that number there, so everyone behind him will move up. So Rattray White, Houlihan, O'Shea, Lutzu and Smith will gain spots. Jacob O'Reilly, unfortunately, is the first car who's just over 5 seconds behind. So P11 on back will finish as, well, will be classified as they finished across the line here in this opening heat race.
Yeah, Jacob O'Reilly comes through there for P11 with Brad Newman in the Lobs Esports series behind him. It was pretty close between those two. Brad Newman and Morella were putting on a little battle there at the end. Jacob Tobb, Husey and Maloney in P14, 15, 16. And the back here with Stuart Ellis and Greathead. That battle was going to heat up with Teo Serrano. I'm looking forward to this next 45 minutes because these battles will heat up, the tyres will change, and we'll see how they go through. Hayden Sell made up some positions. And knocking on the door right now, I think, is Cody.
Sure is indeed.
Cody, congratulations on that little sprint feature win. Put it on the front row of the grid and came through for the win. You did it pretty easily, but did it feel easy on track?
No, not at all. With the Lambo, it's a bit tricky, a bit more tricky compared to other cars, but it seems pretty good over a race stint. So see how it goes in the 45-minute sprint. But Dylan was keeping me on my toes there for that whole race there. So see if we can do the same next race.
You say it's a little tricky, but it qualified on pole, so you must have got a grip for it. The sprint race, you've seemed to find some pace. The 45-minute race that you're going to go through now, you've got a teammate that's got the same pace as you. Are you going to be working together, I'd imagine?
I'd say so, but I'm not sure how it'll go in the last 5 minutes, but I'd say we work together for the first bit of the race, try and build a gap and see what happens.
Well, you need to get back in the seat because we're about to go live again into the 45-minute race. Good luck. He's got a lot of fans out here watching for him as well. Thanks, mate.
Cheers, guys. Have a good one.
There we go. Good chance to chat to our race winner from the heat race, Cody Deeth. And, well, he says he's a little concerned about the final 5 minutes of this race. Sure, the tyres might drop away from him slightly, but I wouldn't be too shocked if he holds on strongly towards the front of the field. So it'll be all Eclipse on that front row. Dench and Beswick for row number 2 to kick things off here once again. With Christensen, again, we'll start P5, so part of the fact that he's still there, going to share that row with Zach Rattray White. Ryan Houlihan and Dylan O'Shea will be off row 4 to kick things off if the feature with Gianni Lutsu and Zach Smith going to round out your top 10 to get things underway in just a moment's time.
Yeah, from P11, we've got Jacob O'Reilly and Brad Newman. He made himself up a few spots in there in P12. Morello and Todd on the P13 and 14. They're going to be racing hard together, pushing the ways up through the grid. Adam Hughes and Jake Maloney in P15, P16. I love that livery from Jake Maloney. That is awesome. And the only Mercedes AMG on the grid as well, with the snowplow on the front. Stuart Ellis in P17, Lewis Greathead in P18. I know that he'd want to be a bit further up the grid than that, but that Fez is pretty quick. Teo Serrano, in P19, and Hayden Sell rounds up our top 20.
Indeed, and then, yeah, as we said, all these drivers are finishing, or starting as they finished the last race and about to roll away. So Lachlan Capel and Thomas Hinds, 21st, 22nd for them after their run to the line, closely followed by Simon Chadwick and Samuel Sproul on this 12th row of the grid. 25th is going to go to Jesse Butler, and he's sharing that row with Simon Nicholson. Unfortunately, he shuffled a long way back after that early contact, just after the restart. Simon Cox, Matthew Boyle, see if they can push their way forward as well. Off of row 14, it's your top 30 is rounded out by Sean Madison and Brock Kelly. Unfortunately, their entanglement at the end, they're not doing them any favours. With Chu Kang and Caleb Hydes after their crashing out and retirements, practically for watching, not retirements, pardon me, because they both actually got back out there, but way down the order for the two of them as well. Going to a thing that we've got drivers looking to come from the back and charge forward here, although with 45 minutes on the clock, there's some time to get it sorted out. Pace car pulls away into the pit lane here, and we'll watch for those pit lane times and transits as they come round. The Hyundai N corner back in the hands of Cody Death once more. He'll hold them for a little bit there, but he puts the hammer down as we come out of the corner. Green flag flies from race control, and the feature race is underway here tonight for the ANZ Series GT3 National Championship from the Nurburgring, and it's side by side in behind the race leader, and in fact it will be burst pulling to the inside of your leader for a little bit towards turn 1, but he's not far enough back as Lutsu dives 4 wide, 5 wide even there, and we're going to have 2 of the APR cars and O'Shea getting entangled, and then there's 3 wide as Newman's off of the road trying to get up a spot. That might be under review there for literally passing people off-road.
No, he's giving it back. He's giving it back.
He's skipping some spots back, that's for sure, but looks like we're going to get first half of the arena okay as we get this race underway.
We've got 32 cars through that little complex of the AMG arena. Oh, and as I say that, one round in the background there. Who's that? That was the number 60 car. Gone around. That's not Madison again, was it? It was too.
It was.
He had a absolute shocker. You might want to park that thing. I think that car and himself. Oh, and
what? Simon Chadwick, the 957, has just looped it. The 95 SimSports driver has come undone, I think, on his own, but he called it into race control. So we'll see if there's something more there is. Then you got Maloney, Newman, you got Ellis, Adam Hughes, crisscross. Pardon me, where are these guys? O'Shea's now back with these guys all of a sudden after the chaos at turn 1 in the start of the arena. As he's fired off, that's O'Shea to the right-hand side of the screen, number 19. Way down the order there. And after starting up inside the top 10, O'Shea is back to P28 of all places to get started here tonight. Absolute bloodbath for the number 19. And that's a lot of work to do now if he wants to try and get back into things. As it's Eclipse 1, 2, 3 to come across the end of the Hirsch chicane. And that's one of the Eclipse cars slow down, having to bail out there, I think. Yeah, Eddie Beswick's cut the chicane at Vidal. And on lap 1, that is an incredibly brutal time penalty, thanks to the way that it is calculated here. No average lap time set. As there's a spin. Lewis Greathead and that's Brock Kelly have come together at Hyundai N corner. As we go to the replay, Brock Kelly and Chadwick halfway around the lap at Paget, Aaron. I don't think there was much contact there, but either way, the 957 is spun as a result of whatever happened. And then this literally just happening as we started to cut to the replay at the final turn.
I was just trying to watch it as we go now, but it's good that we got a replay here. Yeah, interlocked in. Oh my gosh, that's that car is gone. That won't be coming back. That is very hard.
There's a back to live pitch as we go. Bit of radio chatter from Caleb Hydes in that 92 Eclipse Audi. Not too happy about something at turn 1. Have a quick look at that one on my feed. See what happened here, and it's the mother of all sins, it seems, from Dylan O'Shea. He's come from 100 metres back, and he's forced the issue at the apex of turn 1. Hayden Sell, meanwhile, I presume this is on replay of lap 1.
Oh, hip and
all kinds of
shoulder.
loose.
That's
And
what
locking
we
cables
saw
in the grass
earlier.
a good year.
I can't believe he pulled that thing up and the wall in the grass. That's, that was everywhere. But Hayden Sell, big hip and shoulder moment.
Yeah, got himself all kinds of loose, and Capel trying to get up the inside of Teo Sorono has only got the nose in and put himself in the dirt as the car destabilized, trying to get every bit of road and then apex curve for himself to have some space. So that will now put another driver who I would have expected towards the front of the field way down the order here early on as well, as we'll quickly grab another one of our replays thanks to Burling Motor Group. Here you can see, yeah, sent it in too hard, as you said there, and the grass offers him no favours with the right front and the right rear getting up over the curb, trying to make space for himself there. And my word, it is absolute chaos here. As go back to live pictures finally and get a look at how things are going as it's still eclipsed 1-2 up front.
I'm surprised that we haven't had a safety car out with all those collisions. We've had over 10 incidents out there. Cody Deek just set the fastest time of the races now, 56.9, so he ain't saving tyres. Dylan Burse has been there with him the whole time. Yeah, these guys at the front are starting to pull away a little bit over Zach White, but the battle in the pit pack has just been unbelievable. I think Nathan Sell's actually come into the pits. I think Sean Madison, is he still out on track? Yeah, he's still out there on track, but he'll want to forget this race, I'd imagine. Lewis Greathead as well has been involved in a bit of this as well at the back. So big, well, they've got 40 minutes left. It's a big ask to try and work your way up this sort of field.
Well, they're going to be relying, sorry, the patchy, that was a
There you are.
Yeah. But yeah, they're going to be relying on a safety car without a doubt to get back into it. No one's taken to the pits just yet in this race. But we'll have to see if drivers now, with the fixed setup and the fuel tank restrictions, probably looking at they need to go about 15 minutes before they can think about starting to pit. So that comes out, maybe you can come in 12 minutes into the race as a result. So there's a bit of play there that they can work with, but with the setup and the time that they've got to get through the race before it's even viable to come into the pits, unfortunately those drivers at the back of the field just need to keep circulating and hopefully keep out of trouble there as this race carries on.
As another point to that, the guys at the back, if you are having a bad race, you have teammates. Everyone here has probably at least 2 or 3 teammates out there, and you might be able to help them out as well, trying to save them a little bit of fuel as they go through this as well. So all's not lost. This is a team game. It might not look like it when these guys are battling for positions. And this is a battle for P8, I'd imagine. Eddie Beswick looking back onto Jacob Todd as they go into turn 1. He's had to block a little bit as he goes through. The switchback is there, but just couldn't get. Todd's just having to follow him through as they go into the AMG arena again. Tough little complex, so hard on the tyres as they go through here, and then they get to open it up and go down into the head back there. But good racing back there. Brad Newman and Houlihan are locked in battle again. We just saw in the first race, and here they are again. Jake Maloney's going to get onto the back of that as well, but civil battle for P8. Who's ahead of Eddie at the moment? That's Jacob O'Reilly. He's got himself a very nice gap. He's a little bit off the pace of Lutsu, but probably found a nice little spot there for him to stay out of danger.
Marino
Marino's around. We're just watching that unfold, and we just went away from it, but that would have been with either Maloney or Newman there. Let's see a replay. The Burling Motor Group replay.
No, it's self-inflicted, I think.
Oh, it is too. He's just gone really deep. Number 7 Porsche machine going off the track. Plowing his way through there. You can't park out there. Don't need much mowing done either. As he gets back on the positions. He lost 10 positions on the machine. He went P7 then P17.
Yep, he has come back out in the 17th spot. So yeah, it's been a brutal brutal mid-half of the lap, I should say. As we go back to live pictures in our first decision from the feature race here tonight. Unfortunately, not going the way of Brock Kelly in the 911 Visceral Esports. 5-second post-race penalty is going to be on him for an incident early on.
You think things couldn't get any worse here in 25th, then you get a 5-second penalty.
Yeah, and an iRacing slowdown to boot for
Yes.
presumably cutting the Vidal chicane. Once again, drivers getting very aggressive over the chicane, and they're then getting these slowdowns that either have to be copped at the final corner, or in the case of Morella, he's still got one, and he's got to clear it soon. That's now been the entire front stretch, and I think he's just cleared it now as he enters the AMG arena. As a result, we'll concede a spot to Dylan O'Shea, and get through the arena once again. So that's taking a little while there, as O'Shea looking to recover some positions now. Down 11 from where he started, but back up to 19th. So that's almost 10 places gained on the recovery drive for O'Shea.
Excellent work from these guys. If you can just stay out of that chaos in that first opening lap, which we saw heaps of, we see a lot of people that have gained up a lot of positions and got themselves up into a healthy points. Hold for them at the moment, no further action. The cars 19 and a 111. That was Teo Serrano. I think we were watching that at the start. I think it was wheel-to-wheel contact, I'm pretty sure, as they went through there. I'm pretty confident that the 19 car, yeah, it was O'Shea. Yeah, he got the best out of that, I'm pretty sure. No, sorry, he lost positions over Teo for that little incident, but we watched that already. Geez, top speed as they come through here. This is going through the. Oh, this is the left hand and the right hand as we come up to the last turn.
Yeah, the Vidal chicane at the back of the circuit here as part of the Grand Prix configuration at the Nurburgring. And yeah, it really is tripping up people left, right and centre, because I'm just here seeing more and more of these iRacing slowdown flags. One of them now for Brad Newman here in the Lobs Esports number 2 is going to cost him a couple of tenths. He gets it cleared though through the Hyundai end corner, so he's clear to get going. Further up the road, Jake Maloney there in the 29 Mercedes AMG. Now, actually, yes, part of Trans-Tasman Racing, but certainly not wearing one of the regular paints of the team. And oh, he didn't get it cleared, so he's then on the apex of the Yokohama S, and it's still not cleared here as he enters the arena. Now, as he gets through turn 2, the flag is gone, and he's back on the attack immediately. Stuart Ellis leaves the door open as we'll look at it from the cockpit of Adam Hughes here right behind. And then they almost make contact, these two in front, but they get through without any scrapes or scraps. But can't say the same for Sam Sproul. He's around in the 606 for Blackout OPR and in the grass too, unfortunately, at the end of the AMG arena.
He's going to wait a long time to get out.
Now.
Yeah, he's good.
Go into the next of our replays thanks to Burling Motor Group. So happened that's Serrano on the outside in the 111. Come into the corner, and they're just going to tap a little bit of a tap there, perhaps.
I think he did it himself to start with, but then just got that little bit of a tap to just send him around as well. I think he lost the rears before he got that contact. But it's not for us to make that decision. That's the guys in race control. We'll see what they come up with. I love the look of this Jake Maloney car. I hope he keeps that all year, all this season, to be honest. It's a little bit different to everything else. No sponsors on it, no nothing at all. He might be in trouble from team management, but that's okay. It looks great. The only Mercedes out there as well, the AMG, and looking fine.
It's certainly a unique look compared to all of the team livery designs that we have here on track. To give you an example, two of those examples right behind in the form of Stuart Ellis, who doesn't quite grab the curbs there through Vidal and loses some ground as a result. Adam Hughes wants a piece of the action here for P12. Doors open through the last turn here, and that will probably be his. But then again, good run around the outside for Ellis as we'll go split screen replay on the bottom, looking from Dylan O'Shea. So watching for Sam Sproul and Serrano. It's mostly by himself, and then helping hand at the end will get it done as Hughes still on the inside of Ellis down the front stretch. Turn 1 is all his, Aaron.
Yeah, he did that himself just a little bit there and got a helping hand, unfortunately. Doesn't help his cause, I know, but is this the first of our pit stops? Is that Brock Kelly in for an actual pit stop? The number.
It looks like it. 10 seconds of fuel added to the car. Whether that's going to be enough to get home with 32.5 minutes on the clock, it'll be tight. Maybe a gamble here.
That is a definite gamble. That's a safety car gamble right there.
Yeah. Because with the manual safety car here run by the admin team in ANZ Series, it will be interesting to see here, because that does mean that, of course, There's no closing at the pits when the safety car comes out.
Yep.
So drivers are free to go and also free to go full speed until they catch the safety car. As in amongst all the driving, there's been a warning issued to Zach Smith for connection issues, which is interesting to see here because so far it's okay in this particular moment, but apparently for the Alpha Venturi driver, we've lost him a couple too many times to be able to race around him at the moment. So just cross that sorts itself out with his race control work. About to give him the flick if well,
they
tell him
do
to
have a
win.
yeah, that is in the rule book. A very thorough rule book if you've had a chance to go through it. Connection issues in there, and if you do have connection issues, you can be actually booted from the server, unfortunately. But that's fair enough. To the drivers around you, I can tell you from experience, when you have someone blinking or someone that has a connection problem, it is nearly impossible to drive around them or race fairly with them anyway. Going into turn 1 here, who's that behind? That's a 111 car behind. It's a Audi P17.
We're on board with Thomas Hins looking back at Teo Serrona, Dylan O'Shea, Marina Morella's just in the background, a shot there in the next to the Porsches. See in front, that's a lunge and a half. That will be Caleb Hyde's on Simon Cox as Marino Morella's ended
Marino's
up in
around.
the Barra. And that's the right rear broken, I think, as well. We might just get that safety car Brock Kelly was after. How has Marino ended up here when he was on his own?
That rear diff is absolutely shot. I think he's turned it off.
Dear.
Yeah, he has turned it off.
That's not gone well. Look at this here on the replay.
Oh, hang on.
Yeah, I need to go back on board and actually see what that was like for him. Yes, we're waiting to see if we can get the safety car. It probably will be because he's kind of in a gap.
I think he's had a hardware malfunction there, or something's gone wrong with the car. He's come through the turn here, thanks to Berlin Motor Group on the replay. He has connection. No, yeah, that is definitely either a connection fault or a hardware fault, which can happen in sim racing. And everyone, you don't think that anything can happen. It's just easy to go around in the car and it resets, but you can have hardware malfunctions, and that can send you out of the race as well.
Yep, and to the. Oh, sorry to cut you off here. No
safety cars yet, which is odd because the car was stranded completely. I don't know how they got that out of there. They must have got the tow truck out there very quickly as it started to come down into turn 1.
I think the argument you can also make is that he did find a kind of a gap in the wall there, so that kind of worked out in terms of being able to say minimum interference and pass it off. And I mean, yeah, I think he had steering controls. It was either an issue with, I've seen this with screens, not being able to see where you're going all of a sudden. Don't think it was connection, but as has also been pointed out in the YouTube chat, that could easily have been a pedal failure, specifically to do with the brake, because he went to stop and it just coasted into the wall. So it was definitely off throttle there, but just, yeah, all of a sudden wasn't stopping like he wanted it to. As we're on board with Shu Kang, he's still looking to make some progress in this race, up 6 spots from starting back in 31st, but now up behind Matthew Boylett. And another report coming in over the radio about Zach Smith's connection.
It's going to be tough for him if he gets kicked for that. That is a hard take. Nothing he can do about it. You're in the car, you're racing. There's absolutely nothing you can do about your connection. Hope he gets to stay now. Hopefully he clears up for him.
Yeah, it's this $1 million question of it's happening somewhere off screen because it's not our focus at the moment. So this whole $1 million question of is it bad enough to warrant being removed from the server or not, as we look here on the outside of the Bilstein curve, turn 11, as the drivers work their way up to the back straight. And that there is the top 10 now having all flashed past, with Ryan Houlihan leading that at the end of that train. And then 11th through 19th, effectively one broken train here from Jake Maloney back to Simon Nicholson, on board with Dylan O'Shea in 18th towards the back of this group. Come into Vidal once more, afraid to attack the curves, and now getting into a bit more of a rhythm. They're not getting any slowdowns, but unfortunately for Brock Kelly, it's another 5-second time penalty coming his way in this race. So that's 2 that are going to be added on to him at this one, and at this stage will mean he's most definitely sitting last on corrected order.
Yeah, unfortunately, the 911 car. Brock Kelly has had one of those. He's in the pits. No, he isn't in the pits. But actually, is that Lachlan Capel is coming in for a pit stop now? Is that scheduled? That's a spot from Lachlan Capel. We'll see. He's one of the first ones that can actually make it back on fuel now. I'd imagine that most of the field will come in this lap or stretch it to the end. If you wanted to do an undertake, this is, or an undercut, this is where you want to do it.
Well, it's this $1 million. Yeah, it's this $1 million question of how the fixed setups. So I actually haven't had a chance to look at them. It's how the fixed setups have been configured. Now, at 11 seconds of fuel, I'd be saying they've got up to half an hour of fuel on board, and they can take on, therefore, half an hour of fuel in total. So what that means is we're now in this sort of 15-minute window where you can definitely fill up and make it home. A couple of drivers, well, in fact, the only other driver that stopped really was Brock Kelly, and he's just ahead of Capel here, and was probably on the early side of the window, of course. So the only other drivers who have stopped on that lap was Samuel Sproul in the 606. Yep. So no real takers to the pits just yet, given it is early days, and you will probably want to run the fuel down in the cars rather than fill early. But hey, flip the script here. We'll see if these drivers can make something work. As we get back to the front of the field, Matthew Dench still keeping Deeth and Burst honest here as these two try to get away, but they have built a nice gap to Zach Rattray White in behind.
No cars into the pits at the moment. I'm just watching as they come by. No one's going to blink in this train for P. I guess it's for P11. P11 all the way down to P19. All battling hard. I just heard something over the radio about boxing this lap. I don't know who it was. Penalty for car 19 for contact with the 92 machine. 5 seconds going to the way of the car 19. That was.
Oh, O'Shea! He's just given a massive pair of elbows out to Teo Sorono, who's found the wall.
He will not be happy about that, I can tell you. That he'll be seeing red for the next 30 minutes of this race.
And O'Shea's in hot once, twice, and it locks the wheels up enough that Sorono ends up going straight on as well. And he's pulled it over on the exit of the AMG arena. We might just get a safety car here. He's been told the whole position, and this might just mix things up. We'll see here what happens in a moment. What I was going to say is the car that's going to the pits, unfortunately, is Zach Smith, the 25, has been ordered to pull into the pit lane as no. We're going to stay green here, folks. So the 111 of Sorono is off the circuit and now out of the way. But yeah, the 25 of Zach Smith, unfortunately for the Alpha Venturi driver, has been ordered to the pit lane due to insufficient connection quality.
Oh, he has. That's unfortunate. And congratulations to Race Control on that. They've kept this race green. They've done a very good job with it too.
I mean, yeah, it's again the discretion of Race Control, of course. Yeah, there you go. So that's another one of those blinks there. So unfortunately, it actually happened at almost the same spot last lap.
We got to see that then as well. Yeah.
Yeah, so we haven't caught much of it on broadcast, but it's been happening in the background. Unfortunately, it's happening again. So it's just enough of an issue there. It's been called into Race Control a couple of times, and they've had to take action on that one there. So Smith, I think, has the ability to try and fix it up. And at least it sounds like over the radio early, he will certainly try to get it fixed up and get back out into the race. But that could take him a couple of minutes and therefore go at least a lap, if not two down at this stage, which will be a lot.
Oh, he's not back out. He has taken his stop straight back out into the track. So we'll see.
Apparently something may have happened. So yeah, take your pit service now. May have done something very quickly in the background. And we'll see if that helps, because he's asked for confirmation if it's any better, and it'll be monitored for the next little bit. So we'll hopefully have some good news here for him, and that he won't have to pull over and lose laps in the process here, Aaron.
Yeah, it's the worst thing that can happen. And because it's in the rule book as well, your competitors are going to call you out on it. If they can get an advantage if you're going to the pits because you have a connection issue, they're going to take it. So yeah, unfortunate, but looks like on my end anyway, it looks like he is got that all sorted. I don't know what he did. He must have yelled out to the kids or the wife out in the lounge room to turn off all the devices. I don't know, but yeah, not an ideal situation for him to be in.
Low down for Jamie Christensen at the Viadol chicane. It's just cost him a good 3 or 4 seconds, and black flag for Teo Savrona. Now I think that's iRacing issue. There is incident point system in effect here tonight at 20 points for your first drive through, and then an additional every 10 thereafter. And we'll get you additional drive through penalties. And well, part of his report to race control was that he'd been dealt a couple of smacks in the back of his car from O'Shea, I believe he was referring to directly. So
yeah, he gave him a couple of character references there, which is great that we don't have that for the broadcast. Otherwise we'd have to censor it. But yeah, it's unfortunate. He's been in the middle, pretty much the meat and the sandwich. Unfortunately, taking a lot of pain where it's riding. Who are we on board with at the moment? This is the battle for right at the front. This is Cody Deep looking back onto P2. Dylan, these guys have been locked in combat. I'm waiting for them to come into the pits as they come up through the Michael Schumacher S's to the back half of the track here. Very fast section of racetrack. And these guys are working together very well.
Yeah, without a doubt. Having these two guys again also very close on pace as well. Deeth and Burst makes their life quite easy in that sense of being able to work together. Matthew Dench able to just ride with them. Question is, how much is Dench trying to potentially save some fuel, because being on fixed sets will have the capacity to try and save a little bit of fuel and potentially get closer on the pit stop. But they'll go another lap at least, so they're probably coming 2-3 maps. We'll have to see exactly how it falls here with just under 20 minutes to go now in this feature race here for the opening round of the season.
I'm just doing some calculations now, and I reckon you got 2 laps safe in the tank, unless you've been saving. And for the guys like, oh, that is a big moment in the back there. Oh, and he's punted him as well. That's for P17. Is that Butler as well? Who was that in the background there? No, it's Hides. Hides and O'Shea.
Oh, except this time it's Hides that was on the attack, and it's not gone well for either of them. Yeah, Butler was just sneaking by. He almost got tagged by Hides trying to gather the car back up. As iRacing black flag comes out for Dylan O'Shea, as we'll go to the next of our replays here tonight, thanks to Burling Motor Group. And looking to see here, from that angle it's not too great, but you can see that Hides was not that far up alongside O'Shea, and then they both...
Oh, it gave him a bump for good measure.
And there's Butler there sneaking away almost.
Not a bad place to have an incident right beside the pit lane entry as they come through, so they'll take service and get back out and fight another day. I think Hides, was it Hides that got the black flag?
O'Shea.
O'Shea got the black flag for incident points, so he's had 20 incident points out there on track. For anyone watching and doesn't know what an incident point is, you run into a car, you go off track, you get an incident point. You accumulate too many, you're going to get a black flag. You'll have to come through the pit lane for a drive-through, meaning that he's just come into the pit lane to take service. He'll have to come back through for a drive-through penalty. It's going to put him right to the back of the field.
Yeah, it has put him... Oh, he's actually taking the drive-through penalty now, so he's come out in 21st, but yeah, still has a pit stop that he'll need to take to refuel the car to come up in the next couple of laps. And unfortunately for Zach Smith, his connection issues apparently have continued, so he will lose the Alpha Venturi Racing Porsche to the pit lane and the dark nether of the internet. So that will put us down another car, as it looks like.
That's a shame, a real shame. I've said it a couple of times. That's not a way to go out, not a way to bow out in a prestigious race at the GT3 National Championship with connection issues. He had pace, just not the pace of the incident to go with it.
Pit stop takers Stuart Ellis and Thomas Hinds come in together from what is currently 15th, 16th, and Jesse Butler too will make it a third car in as well. And will be important to see how these drivers shake out, because the effective leader of those two have pitted is Lachlan Capel in the number 8 for Evolution Racing Team, and he is just coming around the final corner right now, whilst you see our leaders yet to pit have just exited the Paget Racing curve at turn 6, and they're heading down to the hairpin here. And I have to say, Burst a little further back from Deeth, and Dench a little closer as well. Curious to see here. He's not close enough to make much of it right now, but whether he's just going to turn the screws here on this next lap, maybe one more, as to whether he can just minimise the gap on track now that he's done the work early on.
He's kept this team, he's kept this Eclipse team honest. He's stayed there with them. He's not letting them get away with it. He's the only guy out of this field of 30 that are actually taking it to this Eclipse team. He might not have the overall pace, but like we heard in the interview we had with Cody Deeth, he thinks that his tyres are not going to be going away from him in the last 5 minutes. That might be Dench's time to shine.
So what's this game here? Deeth just maybe bluffing a bit there, and I wouldn't be too surprised if he was in many respects, but all three of them will carry on another lap. So we are going to get to lap 16 before our leaders at least take to the lane, and make that your top 5 as Rattray White, Lutzu, Christensen, O'Reilly, Beswick in fact make that top 8. Yep, they'll all keep going. So it looks like we're going to get at least one more lap in here, as Ryan Houlihan, first car from the top 10, will head for the lane. We'll watch here as he brings it around the inside of the last corner and up the gears to third, then back down the gears. A little conservative on pit entry there, but at the same time, probably best not to blow past the pit speed limiter line and cop yourself a penalty for your troubles.
The iRacing,
it may be a couple of tenths.
Never miss it. They never miss when you go over the limits through the pit lane. They'll catch you out every time.
It's certainly a game of, there's an average speed component to the pit entry speed monitoring, so there is some leeway permitted if you then drop below the pit speed limit for the first little bit there. But as you said, safer is better than sorry, and making sure that you get in and clear it nice and early is those pit stops complete. Ryan Houlihan is the leader of those who have pitted, now in P12, so he didn't lose too many positions on track. But we might want to check out Brad Newman with Simon Nicholson, as well as Dylan O'Shea and Stuart Ellis on track together as well when we can. O'Shea out of sequence, still needs to pit out of this group, whereas everyone else has stopped and they are good to run to the end on fuel. But this could definitely be an interesting battle that for these next couple of laps as they all settle back in. Your leaders have... leaders are coming up to the Vidal chicane. As a replay bottom of the screen, this is how they were when they all started filtering back together in and out of the pits.
We've just had some race control. I'm just watching
leaders coming in.
All in the pits. Leaders in the pits. Dench is coming with them. He's followed them through. We'll see now. This balance of performance is interesting because we've got a Lamborghini, an Audi, and a Porsche coming in together. Let's see who gets out quicker. Oh, great stop there for Dylan. He's made himself up about 2 tenths there coming into the pit lane.
That's an example there, just pushing the limit into the lane and just being able to get... In fact, he crosses the line at 90 kilometers an hour, which is... He just gets it under enough that apparently all clear.
That
Jacob
car
Todd,
of Todd, how is that staying out on the track?
So he's going to go an extra lap there, but it will be Deeth, Burst and Dench all rolling away as they came in.
Stern. Absolutely nothing between them. They've all put in the exact amount, same amount of time, about 11 seconds of fuel on board there. That'll get them to the end. 13 minutes left. This is going to heat up. I'm hoping so. I'm looking forward to Dench just taking it to him just a little bit. If you can get a position here, I think he'll have it over Deeth. He's done all the hard work, and then we'll go back to the field. Now, Jacob Todd, that thing must have fumes in it. And I've just heard over race control that Dylan O'Shea's got another drive-through penalty. I don't know what that's for. But if we can get on board with Todd out in the lead. Has he
trouble out on track? The 82 Hayden Sellers parked up before the Vidal chicane.
Oh, it certainly is. It's absolutely parked. Is it out of fuel?
I think he is. Lap 16, and he was going slow. Yeah, I think he's tried to go 16 laps and he's coughed out of fuel. He's on circuit. There is no way we can avoid a safety car surely here, folks, which is going to mix things up a little bit. But again, drivers will continue at racing speed, and you can see he already slow here in the middle of the Bilstein curve on our replay hit. He's able to stay, thankfully, out of the way of all these drivers circulating past. And
just gone past
safety car is deployed whilst we confirm Cell's car grinding to a halt.
You gotta get fuel, Mr. Cell. He thought he had it too. He was about, he's about 400 mils short, I reckon, there of getting back to the pits.
So Todd comes in as expected for his pit service. So it should be indeed these top three of Deeth, Burst, and Dench who will pick up the race lead. Can Jacob Todd gate any time?
No, they haven't slowed down. The safety car was deployed and they haven't slowed down too much.
Looks like at this rate he'll slot out in behind Eddie Beswick, so it will be P9 for him, although they're only coming by right now. So the answer will be he's just in behind Jacob O'Reilly there, so should slot in behind the 222. He has beaten out Beswick, so P8 for the Oldest Australia 120 machine. And now the field will compress. And we're going to have ourselves a pretty crazy sprint.
Someone get this guy a tow rope or something to get this car back into the pits. They'll need to get the safety car to give him a push, I think. Throwing his gloves on the ground and trying to get some dinner.
Yeah. Just seeing here, I think we're looking at Brock Kelly. Yeah, we are. And oh, hello. We might even want to go to a replay approaching turn 1 if we can, Jay, involving these cars. Because watch what happens up ahead here all of a sudden. Oh, the Jinx shift is 52 Audi. They all hit the anchors. But to be honest, they're not going too slowly. Whereas Brock Kelly there, he looks to have carried way too much speed into the corners. There's also a call on the radio that reports of drivers overtaking under safety car here as well, just to add.
I put Todd in front of the 222 there as he coming out of the pits, but that's for iRacing to determine and our race control to sort out. But yeah, a couple of guys will take advantage of it instead. A couple of guys in the pits. It just depends where that control line is. I'm not sure where it would have been. This next 9 minutes of racing is going to be full on. This might have just given Cody Deeth that little bit of breathing room he needed for those tyres on the Lamborghini. Dylan Burst is going to be his rear gunner as they go into the last 9 minutes of racing, and Dench will have to maybe put the headlights on. I've seen no flashing from all the grid here, which is commendable, to be honest, because normally in a GT3 race, that's all you see behind you is flashing lights.
Yes, well, clock ticks down now. Less than 9 minutes to go. And Hayden Cell's car has only just been cleared off the circuit, so we could restart on this lap, but it would be a pretty abbreviated restart procedure here. So we might. No, we are going to go green this lap. So we're going to have a look here at the merger now. I would say you look at the blue cone there, and you can see that
that blue cone
coming out of the pits. Just in behind the Vermilion Ferrari of Jacob O'Reilly. So I think they've come out and they've actually didn't exchange spots as a result. So I think that actually sorted itself out just fine on the circuit.
There's so many lines on the track that it is the blue cone that determines it, which is fair enough, and play on.
All right, 8 minutes on the clock. Safety car back in the pit lane, and just like for the opening heat, it's going to be a sprint race to end this one here tonight. Green flag will fly once again on the restart, and it's Cody Deeth who clears by 0.3 of a second. Head down towards
pushed all the way to the left-hand side.
Todd, Beswick, and Maloney scrapping there up the inside as they try and defend the position. It'll be Beswick around the outside of Todd, around the outside of O'Reilly, but he can't quite make it as further up the road. That's Zach Rattray White and Dench going at it now. And it's going to be Gianni Lutsu around the outside of the 83 machine here in the AMG Arena. Side by side between the final spot on the podium here. Dench knows ahead, but I think Lutsu's still in it, and he is. So they're going to still be side by side on the exit, and they just give each other enough room.
Oh, in the background, who's that? Is that
Beswick?
Beswick? Beswick
No,
has
Riley's
been...
involved as well.
Oh, that car's going. I don't know about O'Reilly's car. There was big, heavy contact between those two cars. I'd imagine the rear of one of those cars will not be pushing. Now, did Dench hold on to that P3 in the end there? He did.
Yes.
That was a great battle between him and Lutzu. Now, that's put Dench behind a bit. It's putting 1.6 seconds behind those two leaders. That's going to be hard to make up. Here we go for the little replay down the bottom here. Keep an eye, middle of screen. Just seeing there's some locking happening as they go through the AMG arena. They come. Oh, and he's just been. Oh, we just missed it in the background there, but so lucky not to take out the rest of the field as he skips across the field there, across the track. That car is done. Jacob O'Reilly's car is toast. It's gone back to the lane. Eddie Bedford's car is on track, but it looks like it's dragging a little bit that I can see here from the commentary box. He will just have to finish these next 4 laps. On screen here, this battle for P20 is absolutely heating up as well. That's Chewy Kang battling there against I think it's Buckline, right head.
Yeah, it is. So this guy is just inside the 20 technicals. That's Simon Nicholson, unfortunately, still clearing a slowdown from the VDOG chicane. It's gone now. Has a big dive into turn 1, and guess who it is? It's Dylan O'Shea, and he just runs across the nose of, I think, Sean Madison there, and I think he might have gotten lucky to get that one done without too much more drama. As watch this field, still now congested as they work their way through the AMG arena here with just under 5 minutes on the clock. So looking at 4 to go according to my timing. That checks out based on where they were when they started the lap. So this and 3 more for these drivers here to sort out their opening or their finishing position for this opening feature race of the championship. Pretty quick. Got things like Rock Kelly with outstanding time penalties to be applied to his results at the end of the race. Drivers still out of position after incidents and drama aplenty. But we are still seeing good results up the order. Drivers who are looking strong on positions gained tonight. Thomas Inns up 10, shares the most positions gained with Simon Nicholson and Simon Cox, pardon me. Chu Kang, he up 11 spots to 20th.
Right stands out. Mr. Kang, he had a terrible sprint race. He worked hard. He might even get another position. He could go up into P19, possibly if he keeps at it. We've got a blinking car in the background there as well. There's a Nicholson in the background. I'm not sure. This battle up to P1. It's been 3/10 the whole race. These guys are going to go 1-2 together, I'd imagine. I don't think Matthew Dench has got 1.5 seconds.
Oh, Shane and Kang! Oh, they've ended up off the track together at the final turn. And as a result, Chadwick goes through. Caleb Hyde gets past Kang as well.
That's a classic commentator's curse right there. Me giving Kang a bit of a rap. And he gets, we'll go back to the replay as he comes through here. That's, as he get a little bit...
Well, it's on the exit of the final turns where it really happens, but you can see, so up the inside for O'Shea. Okay, all's fair there, and is he just... Oh,
he just escorted him. Oh, wow.
Well,
that could be...
Did the wheels lock on him? Maybe, because he's had his elbows out, but you'd like to think, or at least hope, he's not that brazen about potentially running someone that wide off the circuit, willfully at least. So I'd be thinking there's an issue there where the wheels have locked together more than anything else. As we check back in with our leaders here. Otherwise, not the night in terms of driving standards from the 19 of O'Shea, if that was the case.
This battle that we got here for P4, Lutzu actually got up into P4. He was been in P6 pretty much all race. He got himself battling there for P3. Zach now is on the back of him. We'll see what happens there. The race up the front now is tightened up a bit. It's down to 2/10. We'll see if Dylan is going to put a move on his teammate. Matthew Dench is doing great lap times at the moment. And the battle for P10 is not over at the moment. I should say it's a battle for P9. Hooligan there in the 999 machine.
Oh, no, slow down. Who's that? Christensen.
Oh, was that Christensen who got the slowdown, unfortunately?
Ooh, now by my metric, we were over 2 more to go. We should have 2 left, but Burst is putting on the heat like it's the last lap or something. And he nearly got up the inside of Deeth, but closing door through the opening corner there meant that wasn't going to happen that time by at least. But we'll now watch on board with the number 68.
That 68 the arena is a lot faster right now with pace. That last lap he went through was a 156.9 over Cody Deeth. Only a couple of tenths in it, but it is showing some rapid pace. I know he's directly behind his teammate. I don't think the teammates is going to matter when it comes to the last lap, and he can have a sniff of the win.
No, these two will probably fight it out all the way. Then again, there is the fact that they will be mindful of getting a good start to their championships. They're both here to win the championship, and that means making sure they don't mess each other up on the starting field. But maybe, just maybe, there's the little bit of tyre drop-off for the Lamborghini that Cody alluded to after the sprint race and the chat you were able to have with him there, Aaron, because that, if it is there, it's not much, but it's going to make all the difference between these two drivers who've been so evenly matched tonight so far in their, well, they are cousins, the Lamborghini and the Audi, but nevertheless, they do behave just that little bit differently there, as there's been a penalty which is about to be announced in session.
30-second, oh no, 20-second penalty. The car,
Eddie Beswick.
Oh, that's that stings.
And confirming over the radio, that's for the incident with Jacob O'Reilly just off the race restart there. So that's not gone the way of the number 30 tonight. As they come around the last corner for the second last time, and the white flag will be out for the drivers here as they race down the start-finish straightaway. 23 laps will be on the board at the end of this feature race for opening round of the ANZ Series GT3 National Championship, and it's still Deeth from Burst at the front. Dench is closing ever so slightly, but it's not enough unless these two go all-out warfare for the race win. Meanwhile, battling continuing further on elsewhere. Lachlan Capel has finally gotten past Brock Kelly for 13th on the road. Don't forget, Brock Kelly still has time penalties outstanding, so he will drop down the order pretty substantially here. Unfortunately, as they go, O'Shea and Caleb Hydes again, side by side. And O'Shea's losing it.
Oh, that is O'Shea with a little bit of a wiggle as he comes through. He's going to lose a position, but he's not going to give it up. He's going to push Caleb Hydes to the limit here. I think Hydes might have. I thought he had a penalty early on, but he's still coming out in the in P21. Yeah, so we'll have to see how to. This is all provisional, obviously. Everyone.
Oh, spin in the background was that?
Was that Brock Kelly?
It's Sean Madison. The number 60 has had another moment of some kind.
Oh no!
And now ends up all on his own at turn 6. Meanwhile, fight for the lead. We'll go back to it, Aaron, but it's still Deeth from Burst. Just under 0.4 of a second as they round the Bill Stein curve for the final time. I think this is sorted for now, but never again. Could be a lunge under brakes here. Burst pulls out. Back in line, though, as they get on the brakes for the Vidal chicane. Just one turn left, but Deeth is in deep. That could hurt him. No, it won't. It's the barest of margins, but it's okay as they will come through into the Hyundai end corner. Final time round the circuit we come here at the Nurburgring Grand Prix, and it will be Cody Deeth to sweep the opening round of the championship, with Dylan Burst holding on to make it 1-2 for Eclipse. Matthew Dench also locks out the podium for the night as well. The rest of the field swings their way around. As we watch here, Hydes and O'Shea, the final turn. That's O'Shea to the inside. Has he got enough on it? No, he can't get by the 92 at the end.
Very gentlemanly from all the races out there at the moment. Did a great job not sending each other around, which is great. But the top three. Matthew Dench on his last 3 laps, he's putting out 156.9. He's actually the quickest of the 3 cars at the end there. That little battle he had with Lietzu, after the restart really cost him that 1.5 seconds. He just couldn't make it up. Congratulations to all the guys out there racing. You put on an absolute brilliant first opening round of the ANZ Series Championship. GT3 Championship, I should say. For you guys watching at home, this has been fantastic. I've done a lot of sitting back and watching, I'm sorry, there down the man, but this has been great.
It's been a good round to start off things, and now the results are official, so we can throw to the results here. And I can also tell you that Brock Kelly didn't make it to the start-finish line, so he will be classified a lap down on the field. So those time penalties effectively become null and void for all things considered. But official gap at the line at the end of race 2, 0.286 of a second between Cody Death and Dylan Burst. Matthew Dench had been challenging all night long. Unfortunately, having to fend off Gianni Lutsu for P3 meant that he didn't really get a chance to get back into it there. But still, I think he'll be reasonably happy with a P3 to round out the night. And Lutsu climbing up from 9th place to 4th for our feature race tonight, with Rattray White going to round out top 5 for this evening. And it was Jacob Todd leading home the next group of cars there in P6, with Jake Maloney just a second behind him as well. Adam Hughes bringing it home in P8, with Ryan Houlihan, the first of our AVR cars there in P9, and Brad Newman coming home just 9 seconds off the leaders to round out your top 10 for this evening in the feature.
Moving down the grid, Jamie Christensen from Vermilion Motorsports rounds up that top 11. He just missed out on making that top 10 there. Henry James Racing, Thomas Hins, he's been in the thick of it. I think we had him on the broadcast a lot just then. He's made it up into P12. Lachlan Capel behind him. The Team PGZ car of Simon Nicholson in P14. Ellis, Cox, Butler and Greathead round up the 15th, the 16th, 17th, the 18th. Simon Chadwick in P19 for the 9.5. I think that's the first of the 9.5 SimSport boys. And Caleb Hayes in the Eclipse SimSport team rounds up the top 20.
And then for our final couple of cars, Dylan O'Shea is currently P21. I don't think he's got anything outstanding from the end of the race, but we'll have to... Actually, no, pardon me, he will have something outstanding, because I don't think... We haven't had an instant review with him and Shu Kang, who was in behind there at the line in 22nd. Sam Sproul, unfortunately, has had a bit of a rough night. We'll round things out in 23rd with Eddie Beswick. 11th to 4th in the heat, but unfortunately back to 24th in the feature, and he has a time penalty, which will put him behind Sean Madison. So swap those two around for their race results. And then, yeah, Brock Kelly running out of fuel, doesn't make the end of the race, classified a lap short in P26, along with Marino Morella a lap down in 27th, with Jacob O'Reilly retiring. Actually, pardon me, again, not retiring. I'm very sorry about that there. O'Reilly able to get back out on track after taking repairs to at least finish the race in 28th. Our retirements then would appear to be would be Hayden Sell in 29th, 7 laps short of the finish. Matthew Boyer 8 laps down in 30th. Unfortunately, our technical retirement for Zach Smith there, with connection problems putting him 9 laps shy of the finish, and Teo Serrano not bringing the car back out after towing earlier on due to his incident and damage, will mean he's down in 32nd to round things out for this evening. And, well, not much left to do here tonight, but what I will do is grab our race and round winner and bring Cody back into the broadcast box. And Cody, you said you were worried about the tyres potentially at the end of the race, but while the gap says 0.3 of a second, that looked like it was still reasonably under control for you from lights to flag.
Yeah, it was. It was pretty good, man. Pace was solid all race, especially Denchi, like in the Porsche. He was doing really well there. Yeah, Dylan, it was really quick, kept me honest. We were pretty equal on pace, but I managed to get away with a bit of a gap at the end and got the win.
Lone Lamborghini out there tonight. Are you expecting any other drivers? You do have obviously a couple who didn't make it tonight who maybe might join you in the Italian Stallion, or perhaps you might expect to be the one that goes alone in the Lambo. I mean, also considering your teammates mostly in the Audi as well, so you're a little bit separate from them as well in that respect.
Yeah, it seems like a good car. It's a different driving style, I think, to the other cars. It's a bit more of a handful in some corners, but I expect maybe Damon, when he turns up later in the later rounds, he might choose it, but we'll see what happens.
Well, yeah, we get back racing actually next week even for round 2, so it's a bit of a back-to-back, but then it will sort of slow down a little bit as the season tracks out. We're heading off to the Red Bull Ring next, and looking confident, or hoping to be confident there once again when we go racing at the same time next week.
Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully I can have some good pace there like I did this week and continue the hunt for the championship.
Well, certainly starting with all guns blazing. Cody Deeth, race winner, round winner here tonight for Eclipse Sim Sports. Who do you want to thank for getting the job done?
Oh, of course, I want to thank Eclipse Sim Sports, all the boys. Damon Woods also, because he's got a coaching business at the moment. He's doing really well with that, so shout out to him as well. Who like to thank Mum and Dad, obviously, because they get me here. And yeah, that's it. Just thank you again to the Eclipse Sim Sports.
There we are, round winner. Cody Deeth back in the box with us once again. And I might hand to you real quick, Aaron. Also got Dylan Burst, maybe try and get a couple of questions out of him quickly for finishing second across the board here tonight.
Dylan, yeah, I wanted to have a chat with you because you have been the rear gunner for D for that race. Were you going to put a move on, or did you just wanted to stay there, get some points, and have a good round?
I was thinking about the long run for the most part, obviously. Don't really want to go stuffing anything up round one, especially with Dave, someone I know well and teammates with and stuff. So, I mean, really looking at the long run for the most part, 3 laps to go, so I was having a little sus. I probably would have committed a bit more, but I didn't know if it was turning or not, so I just backed out of that for the most part. And then, yeah, I mean, just chilled out, I guess, for the rest of it. Couldn't get close enough in the last few laps.
Yeah, your pace in that last 3 laps was a lot faster. That could have been from the toe, but I don't think so. That Audi was definitely quicker out of the corners than Cody Deeth's car. That lone Lamborghini out there, you thinking about changing to it?
No, I like the Audi, to be fair. I mean, I honestly reckon it's a bit better, but we leave it at that. We can have pop talk elsewhere, but
yeah,
no,
right.
I quite like it. I mean, it's so hard to pass now because they changed the GT3 a few seasons ago, so there's no toe anymore. Basically no toe, that is. So you got to be like 2 tenths back to have a actual crack at a move. At most 3, so I mean that makes it a lot harder. Bit of a toe race, well, just single file, but it's good fun still. It's alright.
No, he's lucky to have a guy like you behind him with a level head. I know that the testosterone from some drivers can get the better of them, and if they can if they can sniff the checkered flag, they'll go for it. Matthew Dench behind you guys kept you guys honest all race. He was unlucky to get caught up in a little bit of an incident after the restart, but I'd imagine he would have been pushing you to the end.
Yeah, no, Denchi was on it there. He was having a real crack. Good to see 3 cars in the top 3. That was exciting. 3 different makes, so it's pretty cool. Yeah, he was doing well. Very good. I assume he's going to be up there for the rest of the season too.
I'd imagine so. Yeah, I'd imagine he'll be there. But well done racing from yous two. You put the Eclipse team up the front there. Thanks for joining us in the combox, mate.
Appreciate it, brother. Cheers, bro.
Thank you, guys. Have a good one.
Ciao, ciao. Ciao, ciao.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, later.
That was the Eclipse boys having a chat with us, which was fantastic. Now, I will talk to you guys about the next round. We're going to the Red Bull Ring in Austria. That's going to be sensational. I do like that track. He's talking about the slipstream not being too much. I bet you they won't be saying that after they go through turn 1 and down into that big slipstream fest that is Red Bull Ring. I'll probably take the note. I'll probably take his out, to be honest. We are on time restraints, and all of you guys want to go to bed, I'd imagine, because it's getting pretty late for some of you. You have been watching the 2024 ANZ Series GT3 National Championship. Thank you all for watching. I promise I'll talk more to you guys in the chat next week. It's been an interesting event for us, this one. I've been your host, Aaron Obersteller. From Dan, Jay, and myself, have a great night, and see you next week in Austria for round 2 of the Red Bull Ring. Good night.
It's motorsport, but not as you know it. Test yourself and your everyday road car. Safe, affordable, but most of all, fun. And all you need is your daily driver. Experience the thrill of a sprint day. Race against the clock at a hill climb. Or test your reflexes with an auto test. It takes just 3 simple steps to get started. Get on the start line. Search Motorsport Australia Daily Driver today.